You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. First timer on Ron Siegel Radio, Jessica Warren is with us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. National Bow Day. No, it's not like Janet Yellen going to China. It's the food that you eat. And, you know, if it's something that you can eat, and I've beaten anorexia, we're going to be talking about it. Steamed bun dumplings. Have you ever had those? Put a little plum sauce on top of those. Those are pretty good things. And again, having beaten anorexia, National Pecan Torte Day. Now, I'm going to look. Yeah, Josh, no whipped cream again. Gee. Okay, I guess we're going to have to just go with the pecan torte. Isn't that a holiday item? Tooth Fairy Day? I didn't know you had a day for the Tooth Fairy. I thought it was whenever it happened, it happened. And, you know, I guess my kids have obviously been spoiled. You know, and I'm old, and so are they. So Josh is telling me the going rate's about $3 now. I don't know. I was at $5, so maybe it was just because I didn't have the singles in my pocket at the time. Let's see what else we've got going on. Yeah. World Plant Milk Day. Come on. They come from a cow. I don't know about this. You know, you're going to go out and have to milk or get the milk out of an almond. How do you call it almond milk? I mean, I don't get that. Is that just... let's go and take a look at what the markets are doing. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 126 points. The S&P 500 is down 6. The NASDAQ's up 35. Oil's flat, up a penny a barrel. Do we even want to look at gasoline prices? Well, I guess if we want to get ill, we can. $5.26 a gallon is the average for California. Is it possible to get a mean tweet, please, and get $1.80 gallon of gas? I wish that was the case. But, hey, at least in Washington, they've got it made. They're paying $5.05 a gallon in Washington because their state government thinks that taxes help cut the carbon emissions. Don't know how that works. Well, I guess I do because we live in the tax in everybody's area. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Did you see the president go to Maui yesterday? I noticed that he had a problem there. He didn't realize. I mean, if you listen to the speech, if you could get through the speech listening to it, I took a couple no-dos so I can get through it a little bit. But the whole issue was it seemed like somebody forgot to tell him that Maui was part of the United States of America. His commentary was basically, the United States stands with you. Well, Maui is the United States, Mr. President. I know he had to get back to Tahoe to get on another vacation. Just amazes me. I wish I could go on his vacation as much as he does. And have you ever looked at his schedule? Now, you know, I'm just a guy doing a little radio here and there and every day and doing some mortgage business, chatting with people. But the president's daily schedule, have you seen that? Well, it doesn't take a whole lot. I can memorize the whole thing because it almost says he's going to have lunch and go take a nap. That's basically his schedule. I've seen it so many times. That's when he's not in Delaware and when he's not getting, maybe, I wonder if they put his schedule and they sent it out instead of sending it to the press like a lot of these areas. I wonder if maybe they sent it to one of his aliases. I shouldn't say that because, we haven't got that proven yet that all those aliases that we are now learning about are truly him. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Yeah, we're going to get the NVIDIA. That comes out tomorrow, their earnings. We're going to be watching that one. Sporting goods also in the news now. Now, this is a new one. I mean, I've heard all kinds of citations for poor earnings. I've heard that the weather is bad. Okay. I've heard that the mix is bad. Dick's Sporting Goods cites theft as the second quarter earnings miss mark. Theft. Now, you don't think that they knew that when they gave guidance? Is it something new that we're just hearing about now? Dick's Sporting Goods, I mean, they're all over, and they should know this. All they have to do is watch the news. Hello, San Francisco. I mean, talk about theft. Now, we're going to finally start seeing something be done about theft in the United States. Not because it has anything to do with what's going on in the increase in theft, but just like our border, I said this over the weekend. I probably shouldn't say it now, but I will. Do you know the only thing that got stopped at the border in the last year and a half was the hurricane? It stalled south of the border. That was the only thing that was delayed at the border.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about that too. But now the theft. Why do I say that they're going to finally do something about it? Well, what got the American media to start looking at what was going on the border? Didn't matter that people were dying from fentanyl. That didn't matter. The fact that the border states were getting overthrown with people, the illegals coming in, that didn't matter. When it started hitting where the politicians live, they brought him to Kamala's house. They brought him into New York City. They brought him to Sacramento. Well, all of a sudden, now it was a problem. Well, same thing with the stealing at all these stores. Wasn't a problem when it was in your city and my city. But when it got to Nordstrom in San Francisco, Nancy Pelosi's city, and it got to some of these other big stores, now it's a problem. When it got to Louis Vuitton in Beverly Hills, now it's a problem because, the people that are paying the bill for all these politicians, they're the ones that are going to get hit. It's coming to their towns. So we're going to watch all of that for you because I'll lay you odds right now that those issues are going to get cleared up. Now, we may be getting rid of some Gaston-type DAs. Maybe they'll actually, even in Atlanta, that DA, Fannie something or another in Atlanta, going after Donald Trump. Did you know there's like 150 counties in Georgia, and only one of them has a DA that wants to go after Trump? None of the others want to get involved. Wonder why that is. Did you notice that when the committees were about to release more information on Joe and Hunter Biden, that all of a sudden at 11 o'clock at night, the grand jury is releasing their information in Georgia? And did you notice now that there's even more stuff coming out about Biden? Arizona is getting on the bandwagon, and Michigan. Does that surprise anybody? You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to talk about adjustable or various alternative financing for your house. Are the adjustable rate mortgages coming back? We'll talk about it. What happens when you don't pay your credit card bills by the due date? Interest rates, is the real estate market crashing? Is that going to happen? We'll talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. Make the call, 800-306-1990. Yes, they have the transition loan. Days gone by, we called it a bridge loan. We even called it cross-collateralization 20 years ago. Basically, don't sell the house you've got now. Use the collateral in that to buy your new house. That's one of the most recent products from our friends at Geneva. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Gives us a good idea of what rates are actually locking at. They don't tell us what the points paid, points received, or APR is, just what the rates locked at yesterday. About as timely as you get. 30-year conforming loans locked at 7.274. That was up. 30-year jumbo loans, they were down just a little bit, 7.408. 30-year FHA loans, 7.055. That was up. 30-year USDA loans, 7.043. That was up. That's generally in the rural areas and no down payment. And the best loan on the market for those that earned it, the 30-year VA loan, 6.929. That one was up just a little bit. And as I share with you as well, if you want commentary every morning, very early, we put out a email every morning, rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. Give you an idea of what the market's going to do that day based on all the research that we're able to do before we send that out. But let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. How about the 10-year Treasury down 1 basis point? It's hovering right at that line. I'm going to be careful right there. 4.326. The S&P 500 down 6.26. Mortgage-backed securities, finally, they're up a little bit, but we haven't been able to say the mortgage backs have been up, and that's good because when the security, the bond itself goes up, interest rates go down. So let's take a look at why, because all that information is available on that super secret website, google.com. Why is all of this happening? Well, as I've been telling you right along, the economy is not nearly as good as a lot of the media wants you to believe it is. We're starting to see some of the numbers in the jobs market. If you can do math, you can figure out that even though we added jobs last month, they were part-time jobs. But if you take away the number of hours worked, we actually lost jobs. So yeah, you can add jobs, but you get 2. That's not good. We're going to get the Federal Reserve is going to have their conversations. Yeah, they can't work in Washington. They have to go to Jackson Hole. So they'll be there starting on Thursday. And our Federal Reserve chairman, he's going to be speaking.
Such an idiot.
Yes. I know. So Jerome Powell will be speaking on Friday morning. So we should see the stock market tank as soon as he speaks. That's generally the bond market tank as soon as he speaks. That's really what happens on a regular basis. So they think that inflation has come down, and we know it's down to 5.3%. Normally with inflation declining this much, the 10-year would be declining, but it's not. It's gone up 1% recently. We heard from the Richmond Fed president, Thomas Barkin, earlier today, and he said the Fed needs to stick to their 2% target. Where did that come from? Yeah, Janet Yellen, years and years ago, came up with that idea. And another genius, Austin Goolsbee. He's going to be speaking this afternoon. Hopefully he can balance out the hawkish comments and the dovish comments. I would never thought that I would look at Goolsbee as having something good to say. Do you remember him during the Obama administration? CNBC's Small Business Survey surveyed 2,000 small business owners between August 7th and 14th, showed that overall confidence was reported at 42. Lowest confidence score on record in regards to hiring. 75 prospect headcount to remain stable or drop. 75%. Only 38% say conditions are good right now, down from 40%. The survey is in stark contrast to the jobs report and tells us a little bit more about a weak economy. Credit cards. The consumer has been spending and has really propped up the economy, at least temporarily. Consumers have been spending, but a lot of it has been on credit cards, which have a limit. Unpaid balances are up 16% year over year, and the median balance per card up $8,000, double last year of $4,000. Additionally, balances over the last 12 months rose $270 billion, versus a 30-year average of $120 billion. As a result, delinquencies rose 2.77% from 1.81%. That's going to be our big problem. We're going to watch all those delinquencies. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. Make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So I tell you all the time that I give you a lot of data that's coming from my perch, right? So I sit here in a studio here in Southern California. I get all kinds of national data. I get some local data. But what really matters to you is what's happening in your neighborhood. And for that, we bring in the local professionals. Jessica Warren is with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what area do you work in?
I am in the inland IE. I should say IE. So apparently I cannot say inland very well.
Inland Empire, okay.
And my office is out of Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Yes.
That's a nice area to be out of.
It's a very nice area.
Of course, in August is a good area to be away from.
It's been very warm.
It's kind of common. Okay, so
yes.
So Palm Springs area.
Yes.
Okay, so how's the market in the Palm Springs area?
It's different than it is anywhere else. So although I am a Inland Empire native, Palm Springs market is a little bit different. There's a lot of cash in Palm Springs, and there's a lot of part-time buyers.
Part-time buyers.
Yeah, so we're coming up to our season right now,
Okay.
which is when we get the snowbirds from
Okay.
Canada, Washington, Oregon. They're about to come back. They're about to flock back. And this is when we start to amp up our selling in the desert area.
Is it so? If this is when you start to amp up the selling, does that mean that if I wanted to buy a house out in the desert as a buyer, I'd want to be doing it in like June, July, August? Would that be a better time to buy, being that's when people are leaving? I'm a contrarian.
People usually leave around May.
Okay.
But because summer came so late this year, and we were actually pretty busy until about July.
Till July. Okay.
Mhm.
And so is it a lot of second homes, or is it primary?
Yes, they're mostly second homes.
Okay.
So it's a ghost town during the summer. When it's 120 degrees, it should be a ghost town.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yes. That's when you get a lot of bachelorette parties and bachelor parties. That's when those start happening.
Yeah, I bet that's not the excitement of the area.
No.
So is that one of the areas that they're trying to push out the short-term rentals?
So you can't actually, a lot of the cities out there, you cannot do short-term rentals anymore, or you're on a wait list.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
So is that for a business license or something? I mean, what are you on a wait list for?
So somebody has to exit the short-term
Oh, okay.
to be able to gain that license. So they're out of licenses, basically.
Ah, okay. So now Palm Springs has been around there. It's forever. I mean, as you go further east in the valley, that seems like it's a little bit newer. And you know, when I was growing up 100 years ago, you know, going to Indio was like an overnight stay. You had to plan that a month in advance.
It's definitely building.
Yeah. So is Palm Springs rebuilding? I mean, are they taking it and modernizing? I mean, because it's been there. You know, when I was growing up, the adults all went to Palm Springs because there was nothing to do and they could relax.
This is true.
Is it still that way?
Did you know that Palm Springs was actually created by Hollywood? Because back in the day, when you were contracted at any one of the studios in LA, in their contract, you could only be 100 miles away from that particular studio. So Palm Springs is exactly 99 miles, the center of Palm Springs.
Oh, wow.
So all those homes that are in like the movie district, the really iconic homes are exactly 99 miles away from LA.
So that's why there was the eastern part of the valley wasn't even developed.
Correct.
Interesting. I never knew that.
Yes. And, you know, a lot of people say you live in the desert where you're getting your water. It's still true to this day, but it's definitely building. It's the Coachella Valley is building. And Indio and Desert Hot Springs are very affordable to live.
Okay.
Whereas Palm Springs and Palm Desert, Indian Wells, La Quinta, not as affordable to, you know.
Well, we know why the Desert Hot Springs is so affordable.
Well,
they've got their own issues there.
They do.
Okay. But the other ones, I mean, I love the desert. So we spent a lot of time in La Quinta and Palm Desert. So I think it's probably been 10 years or 15. Well, maybe not. It's been a long time since I've gone to Palm Springs. You know, it's kind of like two different communities.
It's an experience is what
Okay.
I like to call it. So I have two offices. I have an office in Rancho Mirage and I have an office in Palm Springs. My office in Rancho Mirage is a lot more conservative. And my office in Palm Springs is fun. It's just fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're right there in the heart of it all. And I love going to that office, especially during our peak season, because I'll walk down the street and just talk to people.
Interesting.
And they're never from Palm Springs. They're always from a different part of the either the country or the world.
Now, I had agents that I've talked to and people I've spoken with
Yes.
that said on the eastern part of the valley that there's a lot more year-round.
Yes.
So Palm Springs doesn't have that.
No, Palm Springs is a destination.
Interesting.
Yes,
Are there a lot of resorts in Palm Springs?
absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure the whole Coachella Valley has more golf courses than the entire nation. But don't quote me on that. But every
I've been told
every
that.
turn you take, there's another golf course.
Yeah, I can't imagine how there can be that many people golfing with as many courses there are.
In the wintertime, there is, because it's 75 degrees. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's certainly not that way in Canada.
No, it's definitely not that way in Canada.
Interesting. So are people actually able to buy a house then? Or is everything gone? Is it multiple offers still?
It depends on the property and it
Okay.
depends on the price. So if you price your house correctly, you're going to get multiple offers. And it's very strange. Like you could have a $1.5 million house sit there for months, and then a $3 million house hits the market and it's gone in 30 seconds.
Really?
That's
pretty fascinating.
I've only been out there for 9 months now, with Keller Williams, and I'm learning still, but that's what I'm watching.
Interesting. So where'd you come from then?
Redlands.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Most of my business is in Redlands.
Well, okay. So you get to do a little traveling or driving.
I do, but I don't mind because it's the opposite direction of traffic.
Sure.
So it takes me 45 minutes to get to the Palm Springs office and less than an hour to get to the Rancho Mirage office. And I listen to podcasts the whole time, or I just call past clients.
We love people that listen to podcasts.
Yes.
You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, more with Jessica Warren. We're going to chat more about the Coachella Valley. I love talking about the valley out there. Why you don't need to fear the return of adjustable rate mortgages. What happens when you don't pay your credit card bill by the due date. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. you just need some trusted guidance, that is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Great app. If you have not got it yet, what's waiting for? It's free. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it's going to give you all kinds of information that you're not going to find anywhere else. Monitor your credit scores, monitor your bank accounts, monitor your asset accounts. It's going to give you 4 different valuation services for your real estate, 3 that are good, and Zillow. And it's going to also give you about 97% of the properties available for sale around the entire country. Where else are you going to get that other than online with all the advertising? And we do none of that. rsrmoney.com. Why you don't need to fear the return of the adjustable rate mortgages. If you remember the housing crash back in 2008, you may recall just how popular adjustable rate mortgages, ARMs, were back then. And after years of being virtually non-existent, more people are once again using ARMs when buying a home. Let's break down why that's happening and why this isn't a cause for concern. Why ARMs have gained popularity more recently. Graph, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials of the ABC News and Talk, gives you Mortgage Bankers Association, shows how the percentage of adjustable rate mortgages increased over the past few years. Unless there's a good spread, why use it? Well, if there's a spread between the 30-year and the adjustable rate, then it makes sense. After hovering around 3% of all mortgages in 2021, many more homeowners turned to adjustable rate mortgages again last year. There's a simple explanation for that increase. Last year, when mortgage rates climbed dramatically with high borrowing costs, some homeowners decided to take out this type of loan because traditional borrowing costs were high, and an ARM gave them a lower rate. I was actually on a call yesterday with my friend Steve Harney from Keeping Current Matters and Jim McMahon, Benchmark Mortgage, talking about the ARMs. Got to make sure you understand what you're getting into when you're talking about an adjustable rate mortgage. Just because, again, if there's not a big spread between what you're paying for that ARM and what you're getting on the 30-year fixed, why take the risk? There are a lot of other programs out there that make a lot more sense. And right now, when you've got bank statement loans and you've got stated income loans, 1099s, I-10s, there's everything out there again. But you have to be able to repay the loan. There's a lot of options. If you want more information on this, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continue our conversation. We're speaking this morning. Jessica Warren is with us. Transplant.
Yeah.
Moving from Redlands to Palm Springs, Rancho Mirage.
Yes, I guess you're right. But I was born and raised in California.
There you go. Okay. There's not a whole lot of us around that have done that.
No, this is true.
I'm my wife kids me because I've lived in 2 zip codes, both of them Anaheim. So I haven't moved a whole heck. Well, I did. Chapman doesn't count because I was only there for a year and I was in school. But we like going out to your neck of the woods. We love going out to the Coachella Valley.
It's very nice out there.
There's been, of course, was it last year, year before last, when it was 120 in May, something like that. It was a challenge.
I experienced my first 120. It was actually 118 about a month ago.
I'm not sure there's a whole lot of difference.
No, I'm pretty sure there's not.
Yeah, so you got to make sure that you're staying in the water, and it's hard to go work that way.
It is hard. Well, I work in an office, so I mean, I'm a productivity coach. I assist the office, so I don't really have to leave the office very often.
That's
so
better that way.
I get there, in the morning, and I leave at 5 or 6 p.m.
So are you, when you're in the Coachella Valley? I mean, there's like a lot of have and have nots in the valley. Yes. You've got a big disparity. You mentioned in the last segment about, it might take a little longer to sell a $1.5 million versus a $3 million.
Yes.
Are they financing or not financing?
So I would say through my office, this is just my experience, that from our office, I would put us at about 85% cash.
85%?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes, it is. That's why I said there's just a lot of money out there.
Well, I understand that part. And in the last year and a half, I could certainly understand people using cash. But when you got an opportunity before that of getting a 3 or 4% mortgage, you would think that somebody that has $1.5 million, $2-3 million could find something that can get them more of a return than a 3 or 4% mortgage.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
I mean,
but a lot, and we do have a lot of people that come from LA as well.
okay.
So they're cashing out in LA, and a lot of people still work remote.
Are you still seeing a lot of that?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So this interest rates then doesn't really have a whole lot of bearing on what's going on out there.
Except for the single family resident, the mom and dad with the kids that are
The full-timers.
Yes, like the Cathedral City, Indio. Yes, in those areas you do still see, and even though they're selling at probably a faster rate than other places, it's still taking. 7%. That's a tough pill to swallow, but it's better than paying 100% for rent.
That's for sure. What are they going to say when we get to 8%?
Well, let's just hope we don't get to 8%.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Maybe you could tell us when that's going to not happen.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we seem to be heading that direction, right?
Aren't we back to the interest rates where we were back in December? Weren't we at like 7.2, 7.5?
Yeah, when you really look at the charts, and we've shared them, that we didn't get all the way up to 7.5, but we were way up there.
Yes.
When we had been sitting in a range for quite a while, and that range, I think we might have broken out of it a little bit now. But the bottom line is, what are you seeing though? Is it holding people back, or are they still saying, something? I'm getting married. I have to buy anyway.
Like the clients that I work with out there that do have, they do have the families and they work the 9-to-5 jobs. When we were at 6.6 3 weeks ago, I was like, we need to buy something now, because I was excited at 6.6.
Sure.
And then on Friday, when we got quoted at 7.2 or 7.1, it was something like that. I was like, what happened in 3 weeks?
Sure.
What happened? Because I do a lot of listings, but I do cater to my buyers as well. So it lessens their buying power.
Sure.
Or it makes their mortgage a lot higher. But the way I look at it is, just don't drink Starbucks for a month.
Yeah, that's that'll help, right?
Yeah, because that'll save you probably $500.
Yeah, I think my son has a $20 a day habit, so it's crazy.
It is crazy. So, if you could really just cut some fat somewhere else, and you still
we don't talk about fat on Ron
Siegel
Radio,
I'm sorry.
Gee, oh man, holy cow. Okay, so you're right. You have to watch that budget.
You do have to watch your budget, and like I always, you're not marrying the rate, you're marrying the house.
Sure.
You're dating the rate.
So one of the things, and I alluded to it in the real-time real estate segment yesterday, I spent some time. One of the great educators in real estate, in my opinion, Steve Harney. I don't know if you've dealt with him or not, but Steve had this conversation, and there's a lot of opportunities out there. I did a consultation yesterday on a $2.4 million house that fell out of escrow. Okay. And the problem is just as you said, interest rates. Now, right after it falls out of escrow, the seller decides to lower the price by a boatload. Well, if they had done that initially and talked to a lender, the interest rate could have been brought down to 5.875, 30 years fixed. You wondered, are you seeing that out in the Coachella Valley where people are helping that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, in the areas where you still have the working families, yes. Right. Now, Palm Springs is a completely different.
Yeah, they don't care because they're paying cash.
That's a completely different monster. It is a destination. It's an experience. They're paying cash. Yes, you're still seeing the buy downs.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you're paying cash, are the people is it hard to get the property, or is it multiple offers?
It depends on the property, where it's located.
Really?
People, they want the iconic areas of Palm Springs.
Okay.
And if there's houses for sale in those areas, then you're definitely going to see multiple offers.
You have to really have a strategy to win that.
Correct.
What is it? Don't give us a secret sauce. Well, maybe we want the secret sauce. How do you get those offers accepted?
I like to call the agent. I like to build that rapport, and I always have if there is a lender involved, have the lender call too.
Okay.
So, but you gotta. I always ask, I'm like, just give it to me straight. I don't beat around the bush. Like, what do I have to do to win this property?
Sure.
Because I hate it when you just have to be around this. Just tell me how it is. And if we could do it, then we're going to do it. But I'm not going to waste your time. You don't waste my time. And let's just do the best for both of our clients. They really want it. What do we have to do?
So you've got a refreshing approach because there's not a whole lot of folks, although the ones that are the most successful that come in here, I find actually pick up a phone.
Yes. You
Right?
have
It's
to
not
call
the
them.
texting, it's not the emailing, it's not the courier pigeon, right? Pick up a phone and maybe it's they just want to stay there until the end of the season, and that's how you win the offer.
Exactly.
But you don't know that by a text message or check your email. I just sent you a.
No, we have lost so much personal touch in our society. Like picking up a phone or I write letters too. I write thank you cards to everybody I do business with,
Wow.
thanking them for the transaction. Or if I go on a listing appointment, I'll immediately send them a thank you card for taking time out of their day and even like calling me to begin with.
Sure.
So I get a lot of business because of personal touches.
Sounds like old school.
Yes.
It also sounds like being a human.
Oh, isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
We're not stuck
amazing.
behind a screen.
Yeah, stuck behind a screen, not talking to anybody
Yeah.
other than ourselves and listening to the echo chamber news and all that kind of dumb stuff.
Exactly.
It's amazing how that seems to, especially in the tougher times, it's really the person that has the expertise and experience that realizes, and maybe I think in real estate, like in mortgage, I think as you know, there's the volume drops. I don't think anybody's going to question. You can question why the volume's dropped, but we all know the volume's dropped. I mean, that part you can't argue.
Exactly.
It's going to wash out a lot of people that don't know what they're doing.
Yes, I agree, and I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
But you're the coach, though, so you're trying to teach these people to do it the right way.
I am, and sometimes I don't like what I have to say.
That's okay.
And I keep them accountable, and I'm a little bit of a hard nose when it comes to that. And if you're going to take my time and I'm going to help you grow your business, then you better be taking time to grow your own business.
Yeah, do what you're told or get out of the way.
Or just don't come back to my office.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, are we going to see a market crash? We're going to talk more with Jessica Warren about that one. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rate. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. and you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as usual, I talk a lot, so we're just going to give you the tout on Your Credit Matters, and we'll try and get that story in tomorrow. Your Credit Matters brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report, and it's wrong. They all are. I've been looking at credit reports. I've told you I started the first family I helped get a house was in 1983. So I've been looking at credit reports for a very long time. I have never, ever seen a credit report that's completely accurate. I will tell you the highest FICO score I've seen is an 834. 850 is perfect. 834 still had errors on it. They all do. What makes you think you're special? Creditsanitizer.com. They've got the solutions. And hey, don't forget, just a couple things, because I get this all the time, and I want to do this quick, so I want to get back to talking to Jessica. Optoutprescreen.com. Optoutprescreen.com. If you don't like getting all those dumb mailers and solicitations, optoutprescreen.com. It's a great resource. And go to donotcall.gov unless you still haven't got your extended auto warranty. You can otherwise, do donotcall.gov. Two different services right there. They're really good for you. Your Credit Matters brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Continue our conversation. We're chatting this morning. Jessica Warren is with us. We're chatting about real estate, Inland Empire and the Coachella Valley. Are those two different places?
Yes, very much so.
So I know you hear, because I know that the Coachella Valley is part of Riverside County.
It is.
It's actually how I got to start doing business out there with some goofy lender that didn't know that the lending limits are different in Riverside County versus Orange County.
How do you not know that when that's your business? Okay.
I was kind of thankful that he was an idiot, so it helped me get business out there. But you would think that someone would know that, right?
I mean, if that's
basic.
What you do for a living,
right? I mean, it would probably be like not knowing the difference between a 4-bedroom house and a 3-bedroom house.
I think it'd be identical to the exact same thing.
Right? I mean, it's kind of crazy, but that's the way it is. So, and that's why I asked you, because there's, you look and you say Inland Empire, okay, Riverside County, Coachella Valley, Riverside County, big difference in the markets.
It is, yes. So when I'm used to working in like Redland, San Bernardino, Highland, Riverside, the city of Riverside, they're working families, right?
Right.
And then you go to the Coachella Valley and you have these pockets where, like Indian Wells, for instance, it's my dream to live in Indian Wells, but it's also extremely expensive to live in Indian Wells.
Sure.
But their
HOAs are usually a lot lower.
Yeah, well, when you're spending $4 or $5 million for a house,
I guess that makes sense.
I hope their HOA is a lot lower. You'll see a lot of cash out there versus, like Cathedral City, Indio, those types of areas.
So with all that equity out there, I would certainly think that even if there's some people I'm hearing now starting to say that we might get into a market crash.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's so or not, but if you've got a lot of cash buyer or cash owners, no loans, I don't think you're going to see a crash, and those people have no motivation to sell.
They don't have motivation to sell it because they have those 3% interest rates, correct?
Right.
Yes. So unless they have to sell, like the people that are purchasing right now, in my experience, in my world, are people that actually have to move.
Okay.
Divorces. I have relocations, and people that just are they just have to upgrade or downsize because of what empty nesters, or for instance, I have one that they're gaining kids because their children are 20 years old and they can't move out, so the girlfriend or boyfriend are moving in with them, so now they need more space.
That does not sound like fun.
No, I don't think I would like doing that at all.
Yeah.
So
Do you get a lot? Is the relocation when you talk about, is that in or out of the valley?
out of state.
They're relocating they're leaving the state.
Correct.
Okay. That's an interesting one. So are those people, are they with loans, without loans?
They're with loans.
Okay. So they're giving up that low interest rate loan to go and buy something somewhere else, maybe for cash.
Yeah. I mean, you're California rich.
Okay.
When you leave California.
Yeah,
so when
sense.
you're like, for instance, when you're going to Oklahoma and you are making $300,000-$500,000 on your house, and you're buying
the state
pretty much for $300,000 or $400,000. Yeah. So
you've got your own city. You just now you're the mayor and the sheriff.
Exactly. But it's really hard to move back into California at that point. So when you leave California, you got to be certain that you are not planning on coming back.
How do you consult people? I mean, I know what I tell people is to keep that California property for a year or two.
I tell people, if you don't have to sell, don't sell.
So who's going to manage the property then?
A property management company.
Okay, so you have those you can recommend.
Yes, I have plenty that I could recommend. But real estate is king. I mean, people, the most wealthiest people in this world are because of real estate.
Sure.
And if you do not have to sell, don't sell. Buy something else.
So you don't see a crash coming?
I don't personally, because our supply and demand, we have zero supply and we have very high demand still. Even with these interest rates, we still have a demand. I don't see it. You look at notice the defaults are not as prominent as they used to be.
Sure, they're way down.
Yeah, they're down. I know we had mentioned talking about the credit cards, and I get that, but they could always sell the house, pay off their credit cards, and either there's not rentals either. So I don't know where exactly they're going to go. But there's still moving. There's still people moving. I
love it when people come up with when you make a comment like that gives me the ability of telling Josh, we've got rsr3pctloan.com, rsr3pctloan.com. And it basically says, hey, sell your house now. You don't have to use all of your equity to buy the new house, but pay off all your debts. And you still have enough money left over to go buy a new house.
Correct.
Right. So you still can buy something, and even at the higher interest rates, you're still got a good financial investment.
And you could just refinance too once those interest rates decide to, calm
down.
Point
in time. Yeah. At some point in time, who knows when that's going to happen, but we're not going to keep going up forever.
They think we have a crystal ball and, we're going to figure it out for them.
But I'm still the one that I got my first loan at 18%. So,
but you also probably bought the house for $13,000.
It wasn't quite that cheap.
Okay.
It was still about like 180, 190, but something that's still at 18%, we were happy to get it.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're talking 7-8%, or if you get some seller helping, and we've talked about the appraisal gap program that we have. So you're able to still get, a 7 or 8%. And like you said, refinance it down, take some equity out, buy another one.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't know how many people we've talked to. I would imagine you've done the same thing, where you get a 25 or 30-year-old and you say, okay, well, we're going to show you how to retire by 45 just by buying more property.
Yes.
Right.
Real estate. That's where it's at.
Yeah. You can just keep on doing that, and you've got that passive income coming in.
Exactly.
You might have to work a little bit for it. Now, you mentioned something during the last break that maybe we have, I didn't hit my button there. We have a couple seconds to explore, but fixing up sweat equity, right? So you said you've flipped some houses.
I have flipped houses.
So you're able to help other people with the kind of visualizing what something could be.
Yes, I like to take an ugly house and make it pretty.
Okay.
And it's good for the community, it's good for the neighborhood, and I'm taking a house that is not financeable and making it financeable.
Interesting.
Yes.
How do you do that?
You have to buy the house cash.
Okay.
And then although I could probably do it myself, I never did. But I hire the right contractors, and they did, 28 days turnaround usually.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So just the other ways, part of that all has to do with, if you haven't thought about it, you have to hire an experienced real estate agent, right? Because you look at something and someone will look at it and make the comment, okay, maybe we can't do this, but maybe you can. And there are opportunities out there when you hire the right people who have the right vision, who know the right people. You might be able to make what do they call it? Lemonade out of lemons.
Yes.
Right?
I am always the girl that's the glass is half full.
Great thought. If you want to meet Jessica Warren, I'll give me a call at 800-306-1990. Happy to put you in touch. Coachella Valley is a great place, great community. It's kind of a small town, not too far away from the big towns. Is the way we like to look at it. But you can give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Be happy to put you in touch with Jessica Warren. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.